live on the air. I'm Richard Saile.
This is wild.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Lounge Time. I'm your host, Rich Saile, and today is an episode you guys are waiting for right before football weekend starts, and that is my NFL Week 2 picks, College Football Week 3 picks. We got Survivor picks. We also have GUA-RAN-TEEs. That's what we got. And we got a lot to get into today, but first, let's go over some of the important news that involves the game of the week this week, and that is that Jalen Carter will not be suspended for the upcoming Eagles-Chiefs game on Sunday. You guys know when I said it Friday show, even a little bit on Monday, I did say I expected him to be suspended. I was wrong on that because according to their statement, they said that the game against Dallas counts as that one game suspension because he did not take a single snap in the game. And that he would also be fined. That's fair, but I thought he would definitely get suspended this game. I 100% thought that going in. That may alter my pick. Because I thought had he not played, I already had my pick lined up Monday. But because he's now not suspended and he's going to play, that might change the pick. That might change the pick. Now, you bandwagons, let me say this right now. Your head of the snake, a.k.a. Nick Wrong, a.k.a. head of the snake himself, delusional Nick Wright himself. On his podcast, What's Right with Nick Wright, he was starting to crash out on why his beloved Chiefs are no longer the team that's going to be feared anymore based on their dominance that they used to have. And I think he's getting worried that his team is not what he used to be anymore. What they used to be. Wow, what's wrong? You know what? Hang back, sit tight, listen to this clip of about a little over 2 minutes on Nick Wright's crash out after the Chiefs lost to the Chargers in Week 1.
2 games ago, they then get crushed in the Super Bowl, have a rough Week 1, and now all those same fucking people are like, all right, let's be serious. Josh and Lamar, they've elevated past him. Just remember your own goddamn takes, people. It was February of 2025 that after they won again to get to their 3rd straight Super Bowl, for a team that everyone acknowledges he's the only player in the league that could have won 17 games with that team, had that team in the Super Bowl. Everyone said he's in a different class of player. And we are so fickle and so, what have you done for me lately? That 2 games later, one of which, by the way, DeMonte, he was the best player for the Chiefs in. He played awesome Friday night. People are like, I'm not sure. What's wrong with Mahomes? It's going to drive me insane. 2 games ago, you thought he was a game away from being the GOAT. Now, you have him as the 5th best quarterback in football presently. And I come across as an apologist because I'm the only person that remembers these things, evidently. All of you in the media that picked the Chiefs in the Super Bowl did it because of him. You thought the Eagles were better everywhere else. And now that same guy, you're like, I don't know. It's embarrassing. It's a sad state of affairs.
I wish I had the sound effect right now as I'm doing this. You see this, Nick Wright? This is the smallest violin playing for your opinion on your not controlling the narrative now anymore. You can't control the narrative anymore. I don't feel sorry because you controlled that narrative from 2019 up until the Super Bowl loss, and now the one moment now you can't control the narrative anymore, you're beginning to feel like, uh-oh, our Chiefs are in trouble. Uh-oh, we're not going to be dominant anymore. You know what? I got a little something for you. Hold on, Nick Wright. I got a little something for you. You want to see? Do you need tissues to still cope after that Chargers loss on Friday? I mean, you're going to need it possibly Sunday. I mean, it's all yours, Nick Wright. I mean, you need this? You still coping that Mahomes is not what he once was anymore, okay? He's not looking great. Worthy got banged up. I don't feel sorry for you. First of all, let's dissect this quickly because I want to get to the picks. Everybody's waiting on the picks. What list had Mahomes the fifth best quarterback in the league? What list? I have yet to hear this. Here we go again. The latest example of Nick Wright, a.k.a. Nick Wrong, a.k.a. head of the snake, most delusional, nauseating head of the Chiefs bandwagons club, and the head of the trolls on X and multiple platforms. Here he goes again trying to make this lousy take and claim on, oh, Mahomes is now the fifth best quarterback, and he's all upset about that. What list had him the fifth best quarterback? Please tell me, guys. Did I miss something? I don't know what list had him the fifth best quarterback. Really? What list? I never once heard this. What? Here we go. Excuses planting. I can sense this a mile away. Spidey sense fucking excuses that the Chiefs bandwagons are trying to plant. The head of the snake is trying to do. And you get mad now that you say, oh, remember your own goddamn takes, people. See, on Lounge Time, I remember mine. I remember mine every single time I make one of my episodes. I remember. And I'm okay with being wrong. Johan literally bashed me on Monday. Not Monday. Friday night, when I picked the Chiefs to beat the Chargers, and I did not like the Chargers to win because Rashawn Slater was out. I told Johan, it's okay if I'm wrong. He got on me for being wrong. But what now? Now when we get on you can't be wrong? What? I'm not afraid to be wrong. I will be a man of my word when I'm admitting I'm wrong. Now, when it comes to you bandwagons, it's a little different because you know why? You're insufferable. You're nauseating. Okay? And you're now mad now that it's not going your way. Well, then you guys want to say on X, oh, I don't want to ever hear that the league is scripted for the Chiefs ever again. Nice try. No, you're not going to do that. You're not going to do that because I see what you're doing. You're trying to make it seem like, oh, see, we could play fair. No, because last year it was all your way. Yet you guys were gloating. And then when Super Bowl 59 happened, y'all fell back and humbled down here. And now that Worthy's banged up, you guys really think that now all of a sudden you guys want to get mad that you ain't what you are anymore. You're going to have a down year. I was in the middle of becoming a Patriots fan when they had their down years of 10 years not winning a Super Bowl. Now, granted, they went to 2 Super Bowls and they went to, I want to say, definitely over 5 AFC championships in that span. I want to say, roughly. Okay? Roughly. Okay? But you guys, I mean, again, Lamar and Josh just haven't broke through. You really going to sit up here and tell me with a straight face, Josh Allen, with that team, would not have won more than 17 games. Really? Oh, he was one game away from being the greatest of all time. No, Nick Wright. No, that's you. And you want to get mad at people that pick the Chiefs? I picked the Chiefs, you know why? Because your year, everything was lining up to go your way. Everything. The close wins, Taylor Swift, you beat the Bills, okay? You had home field throughout the entire AFC playoffs. Everything was going your way. You had the experience advantage. You just beat them 2 years ago. Everything. And now all of a sudden, you are mad because of not only the end result that your Mahomes GOAT debate is over, but now he's looking worse following Friday's game. And he's about to look worse probably on Sunday with Worthy probably out and Rice still suspended. Welcome back down to earth for now, bandwagons, because your schedule's only about to get tougher. Your schedule's only about to get tougher. And I don't feel sorry for any of you bandwagons because you guys, when I was a New England fan and a large part of the people that hated on our downfall and stuff, I'm going to treat you the same way you guys treated us. And actually, you know what, you bandwagons? Let me end with this. You guys think I am the most Mahomes hater on this show, probably in sports media. Did you not meet Johan for 3 episodes last season? He's worse than me. He's worse than me as a Chiefs hater, Mahomes bandwagon hater. Yet, let me say this to you, Chief bandwagons. Our episode a week after Super Bowl 59, you actually gave Lounge Time its most viewed episode ever. And I want to say thank you because your misery and your misery and your ability to just crash out on us was great because it made my show grow. You gave me attention. And Nick Wright doesn't like how the state of the media is because he can't control the narrative, and like he doesn't like how sports media is. Nick, it's always been a what have you done for me lately business. You say you don't live on through 2018. You kind of are because you have him and then Lamar and Burrow and Allen here. So, did you not remember when people said Manning was better than Brady before Brady beat him in 2003? There were people out there. There are still people that say Manning was better than Brady. I guess in your logic, you're not allowed to have that conversation because people say Allen and Lamar are better than Mahomes right now. I mean, statistically, the last 4 seasons, they've had 3 seasons easily better than Mahomes. They have. Lamar's won a league MVP. Josh won a league MVP. Easily. They just haven't broken through yet. So, cry me a river, you bandwagons. I don't feel sorry for you. Nick Wright, you're part of the problem. And you know what? You not being able to control the narrative? You're scared now because your Chiefs are about to have a down year. Everybody won in your division but you. But guess what? You in danger of going 0-2. Let's get to what the people really want to know now, and that's the picks. Forgive me, guys. I'm just tired of the Chiefs bandwagon's excuses. I don't want to deal with it. But they did give us the most viewed episode in this show's history, so I have to say thank you. But you bandwagons, I got something for you in this game I'm about to pick. So let's go to college football first. Let's start off with Clemson and Georgia Tech. In Georgia Tech, 12 o'clock game on Saturday. I like the upset. Clemson has not looked good through the first 2 weeks. 10 points against LSU, 27 against Troy, and they were losing to Troy at one point. And Klubnik has not looked like a Heisman Trophy candidate. And Georgia Tech, Haynes King, he beat Colorado in Colorado early. They have been, in my opinion, they're going to be better than people think. I've said it since the beginning of when I did my college football picks. You can go back and look at our college football episode. That was when I picked the 12-team playoff. I had Georgia Tech being a better team than people realize. If not, this will probably be the first time you guys heard of it. But I will say that Georgia Tech, they do have the triple option. They have the running quarterback that's going to be a big role. Clemson, TJ Parker, Peter Woods, those guys are going to make it tough for them to be able to run the ball like they do. But can Haynes King make some key throws against Clemson to get them in position to get in field goal range and win the game? I think he can. And Clemson, the way they've looked, they've concerned me. So I'm going to take the upset. I'm going to take Georgia Tech with the 3. And I'm going to say Georgia Tech wins on a walk-off field goal. The Yellow Jackets are going to upset Clemson. And the first upset I have, actually, wait, and I'm looking right now. Yeah, this is the only upset I have in my 7 games. Spoiler, yeah, I know. But I like Georgia Tech to get the upset of the weekend to beat Clemson. Alabama and Wisconsin. Now, Wisconsin supposedly is without one of their starting, I think it's defensive backs. I think it's a safety. Alabama, if you lose to Wisconsin, you are going to be laughed at like crazy on Lounge Time. I would literally make it one of my top opening segments. That's how bad, if you lose to Wisconsin, it would be. Okay? But I expect you to win. I hate you, Bama bandwagons, because you literally were dominating the last 15, 16 years of college football with Nick Saban. And the one time you want to have the one time you have a down year, you want to call for Kalen DeBoer to be fired. Welcome back to the rest of the college football world, where you're going to get used to underperforming expectations. You're not going to be 10-2. You're not going to be 11-1. You're not going to be 12-0 winning national championships anymore. Those days have been over. I expect you to beat Wisconsin 34-10. I don't think Wisconsin's very good. I think their schedule's definitely hard. And I think Alabama wins handily 34-10 over Wisconsin. Georgia and Tennessee. I want to pick Tennessee so bad to beat Georgia. I really, really do. Because Georgia struggled with Austin Peay and Marshall. Tennessee handily beat Syracuse, and they beat whoever they played last week. But I just don't know if Joey Aguilar has the goods to win this game. Although I would not be shocked if Tennessee beats Georgia. I would not be shocked. I just don't know if they have the horses up front to rattle Gunnar Stockton. They have Jermon McCoy, and they have another really good guy on the secondary, I believe, that's supposed to be pretty good. And I think that's going to be the X factor in this matchup. Can those Georgia wide receivers win against those defensive backs in Tennessee? I think they're going to struggle, but can Tennessee get turnovers, generate turnovers, and can they capitalize off them? And they have the offense, but Josh Heupel has yet to beat Kirby Smart in this game. So I'm taking Kirby Smart in Georgia, 27-20. Although I am tempted to take Tennessee. I'm very tempted, but I can't get all the way there to do it. So I'm going to take Georgia 27-20. Miami Hurricanes, South Florida Bulls. South Florida, the favorite group of 5 team right now, dominated Boise State, beat Florida in Gainesville last week. Now they travel to take on Miami. Now, for those of you that actually watch the show, I took South Florida plus the points. Why did I say that? Florida was looking ahead to LSU. South Florida people don't think would do it again against Florida. Now, I picked the Gators to win the game. But I said, give me the Bulls plus 16.5, I think it was, right? I think it was 16.5. It's around the similar line this time. And Miami, guess who they play next week? The team South Florida just beat, the Gators. And that's a rivalry next week. Now, Miami, they probably will beat them convincingly. I have that on my scoreboard. I will say, though, I'm going to go back to the well that keeps on giving. Give me South Florida plus 16.5. Let's make sure my notes are right. I think, let me make sure. 17.5, actually. I'm wrong. 17.5. Give me South Florida plus the points. Going back to the well that keeps on giving. I am not saying South Florida is going to win again, but I'm going to say that they're going to keep it close. This team is playing with house money. They're playing loose. They're just having fun. Big emotional win. Everybody's expecting a letdown spot. Miami beat Notre Dame late, week 1. They got Florida coming in. Florida's looking absolutely like crap because they want to fire Billy Napier already after 2 games. DJ Lagway looks horrible right now. They're like, oh man, we're looking forward to our rivalry. But South Florida's going to hang around, and Miami's just going to get by. They win within a score. 30-23, Miami beats South Florida. I might sound crazy, but college football, expect it. And get behind those stories. And right now, South Florida is one of those stories you got to get behind. But they lose to Miami. It's going to be like Boise State, Oregon last year, where they're going to hang around, but they're not going to be able to quite win that one-score game. But Miami beats South Florida 30-23. Ole Miss, Arkansas. The over and under in this game is 61.5. I don't know if I love that score to go over 61.5. I actually have it a little under by my projection because I do think Ole Miss is going to win the game. Arkansas has some tough games left. I don't think Sam Pittman's group is going to perform well. Ole Miss with Lane Kiffin. Austin Simmons has looked all right, but they're okay. I do think Ole Miss wins the game 30-17. I do think they're going to win. Pete Golding's defense, I've never been a big fan of him with Alabama, but I do think Taylor Green, they're going to find a way to keep him in the pocket. And I think this game's going to go under. I got 30-17, Ole Miss over Arkansas. I do like what Austin Simmons to get a bounce-back spot. I do think he's going to have a good game against Arkansas. I think Taylor Green's going to do solid, but I think he's going to have a couple turnovers that Ole Miss will capitalize on, and I like the Rebels to win this game. Notre Dame, Texas A&M. Notre Dame's quarterback situation, I thought C.J. Carr had some highlights where he did good as a freshman. Second half, he got comfortable, he got better. A&M, though, they're going to play physical. And Notre Dame, 2 weeks to prepare for this game. They have to win this game. I think A&M's going to hang around. Marcel Reed, he showed me glimpses last year, and they had an upset win over somebody in the SEC. I'm trying to remember who it was, and I'm really trying to remember. Okay, but Marcel Reed, he has promise, but they're going to run the ball. It's going to be smash mouth game. I think Notre Dame's going to have to be prepared for this type of matchup. C.J. Carr against a really good Mike Elko defense. I like the Aggies plus the points, but I'm not saying they're going to win the game. I do think it's going to be close. I like A&M. I'm looking right now. 6.5. Give me the 6.5 with A&M because I think they're going to play close. I don't think this is going to be a touchdown game. I do think Notre Dame's going to have struggles, but I think they're going to pull away late, just like last year in A&M, the 12th man. I'm going Notre Dame on a walk-off, 23-20, at home to win. They get their first win. A&M loses, but A&M's going to show they're going to fight with them through 4 quarters, and I think Notre Dame wins on a walk-off, 23-20. LSU and Florida. I like the under in this game, 43.5. I like the under in this game. I think that the LSU defense is legit. DJ Lagway has looked horrible. Florida wants to fire Billy Napier. He's going to Death Valley and LSU. And LSU did not look good against Louisiana Tech either. They're going to want to go crazy. Meaning they're going to want to light it up against Florida. And I think they will. I think that Brian Kelly's offense with Garrett Nussmeier, Anderson, Berrien Brown, Caden Durham, they got that 6'7" tight end that's really good. That defense has been absolutely phenomenal through 2 weeks. I think they're going to make Lagway look horrible. I think Florida's only going to get worse. LSU wins 27-13 over Florida. I do think LSU probably would put up more, but I'm going to say 27-13 just because I think LSU's going to have their way on both sides. I like LSU to win. Brian Kelly's team goes to 3-0, and they continue to make their case as a top 3 team in the country. LSU 27-13 over Florida. So, guarantees for college football real quick. The Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets are going to beat the Clemson Tigers. I think A&M hangs with the 6.5. I'm not saying they're going to beat Notre Dame, but I say they're going to hang within the 6.5. South Florida, 17.5. Not saying they're going to beat Miami. I think they're going to hang with them. Okay, under 43.5 in LSU, Florida. And that's really what I like. I would go with Tennessee plus the points for some rooting interest. I can't get all the way there. But those are my, I believe it's three teams and one under. So probably 3 picks. Yeah, 3 picks. Yeah. Under in the LSU Florida game. A&M plus the points, South Florida, and Georgia Tech. Yeah, 4. I was right. 3 teams and an under. There it is. So let's go to NFL Week 2. Let's go over the picks first, and then I'm going to get to Survivor. So picks and guarantees are going to be all together. All right? So, Green Bay against Washington tonight. I really liked what I saw from the Packers on both sides of the ball. Washington, I've got serious questions in their secondary. I think the Packers' offense is a much better offense still first again than they would with the Giants. I like Green Bay to get in the 30s tonight. I got 31-14 Green Bay over Washington. I think Jayden Daniels will be good. I don't think he'll be able to do much against that Green Bay front 7. Parsons being there, I do think they're going to give him some trouble. I think the secondary is a little bit better. I like the Packers 31-14 tonight over the Washington Commanders. Cowboys and the Giants. This is a good bounce back spot for the Cowboys. Russell Wilson starting. The Giants fans are clamoring for Jackson Dart to start. Here's the thing. Daboll is not going to put him in right now. Although he is feeling pressure to do it. I will say that. Cowboys played really tough against the Eagles in Philly. They're back. 10-day rest for this game. They're home. My worry is, can their front 4 get after Russell Wilson? That's my worry. I do think Lamb, I do think Pickens, I think they're going to have a pretty solid day. Dak Prescott has done really good against the Giants throughout his career. I like the Cowboys 24-13 over the Giants. I just don't know if the Giants offense can score on Dallas's defense. I think Trayvon Diggs, he'll be able to take Neighbors out. I do think DeRon Bland being out for a couple of weeks, the Giants can capitalize with Wan'Dale Robinson if he's good to go. I don't know if he is, but the Giants offense has their problems. I like the Cowboys to win 24-13. Teasing something later. Bills and the Jets. Now, the Bills came off an emotional win at home against the Ravens in Buffalo. They traveled to MetLife to take on the Jets. Now, the Jets have been the one team that always plays tough with Buffalo in MetLife. If you remember, the Jets have beaten Buffalo a couple times in MetLife recently. They have. 2023 Week 1, 2022 Week 6, I want to say. Okay, they have beaten the Bills a few times in MetLife. And even last year was close on that Monday night game. It was close. I think it was Week 6. And that came down to a possession. I do think this is going to be a similar feel because I do think McDermott's defense, I didn't like what I saw Sunday. The Jets were able to score on the Steelers. I do think the Jets can get to 20. I do think they can. Because Justin Fields, Garrett Wilson, I think they're going to score. I think they're going to find ways to keep it close. I don't think they win the game. I do think Buffalo wins, but they're going to sweat this one out again. Expect a slow start, but Josh Allen and company, they'll turn it around by second half. 26-20, Buffalo beats the Jets in MetLife. I wouldn't take the points with the Jets. Maybe. It's a small play, but I like them to win 26-20. Bills over the Jets. Ravens, Browns. Yeah, this is no secret. Baltimore, you had Buffalo right where you wanted them. And then they gagged it up. Cleveland played Cincinnati tough, a team that always starts off slow. Now, Baltimore at home, they got Detroit at home next Monday night. They got to go to Kansas City after that. This is a must-win game for the Ravens early. Oh, but there's no such thing as must-wins in September, Rich. No, this one, yes. Now, the thing that scares me is Cleveland's played Lamar tough, whether it's in Cleveland or in Baltimore the last 2 or 3 years. But I feel like the Ravens, knowing they were so close, they have the better roster, they're home. You let me down in Survivor last year, Ravens. Don't do it again. Tease for something later. I think Baltimore handily dominates Cleveland 30-10 on the Browns. I think Deshaun Watson's going to have a rough outing. The Ravens are going to be looking for turnovers. Kyle Hamilton should be able to go this week. Jair Alexander should hopefully bounce back. I think the Ravens, their young secondary, this is a good spot for them to get their turnovers. 30-10, 30-10 Ravens over the Browns. It'll be something for later on this. Rams, Titans. Both teams played competitive. Rams squeaked out the Texans 14-9 at home. Titans played Denver tough in Denver. I had to sweat that survivor pool, all right? Rams now travel almost halfway across the country to Tennessee to take on the Titans. Now, Titans play pretty tough. This is our home opener. Okay, they play tough with Denver. The Rams, Stafford, can they get this offense going? It felt like it took a little while. Titans defense is no slouch. They're not bad. Cam Ward against that young defense, I can see him playing a little better than what he did against Denver, but this is gonna be closer than the experts say it's gonna be. I do like the Rams to win, but I think it's gonna be close. I think Tennessee's gonna hang around again. I don't think the Titans win though. 24-16, Rams beat the Titans. Bengals, Jaguars. Oh, this is one of my favorites of the week. And I have it written down. Yep, I have it written down right here. Give me the over. Give me over. And let me get the total. 48.5. Yep, I got it right. Over 48.5. Bengals, Jaguars. Both teams are going to score. Bengals defense, I'm not sold on. The Browns offense is not as bad as Jacksonville's. No way. Brian Thomas, they've got. I do think that, again, Travis Hunter's going to play offense. Those two are going to put points up. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be able to stay with Burrow. Chase, Higgins, I expect them to bounce back. I like the Bengals to win, though. 34-27 over the Jaguars. This is going to be probably the highest scoring game of the weekend. I like Bengals, Jaguars. Both teams can score. Both secondaries are not very good. I like both teams score. It'll be over. One of my favorite plays of the weekend. Over 40.5. Bengals, Jaguars. And I'm taking the Bengals to win the game. Saints, 49ers. Okay, this is important. I got to say this. Brock Purdy is expected to miss a few weeks with, I think it's an elbow. Maybe it's a shoulder. I know he's expected to miss multiple weeks. Christian McCaffrey's banged up a little bit. They gave him a lot of the workload last week. Jawan Jennings is banged up. They just signed Kendrick Bourne. George Kittle's out multiple weeks. Saints played Arizona very tough last week. Almost took it to overtime. This line smells. Now, this is where I'm willing to go bold. And I'm not scared to do this. Give me the New Orleans Saints to beat the San Francisco 49ers at home. The line's coming down, so get it now. Get it now if you want the Saints to win against the Niners. I like the +3, but I'm taking the money line. The New Orleans Saints are going to beat the San Francisco 49ers at home. Guaranteed. Yep, this is my first upset. The New Orleans Saints are going to beat the 49ers. I know Kyle Shanahan's a great coach. Saints showed me a lot against the Cardinals. Played tough, at home. I don't think they'll drop to 0-2. Kellen Moore, they're going to air it out. Yeah, Robert Sala's the Niners defensive coordinator. I know. But here come the Niners injury bug. And I know when they get injured, it's not really good to feel comfortable taking them. I would definitely avoid them in Survivor now that Purdy and Kill are out. I would definitely avoid it. For all the reasons I mentioned just a few moments ago, the New Orleans Saints are going to beat the San Francisco 49ers. Guaranteed, baby. Woo! First one, Saints money line. I got 19-16. Saints win on a field goal. They get their first win. Got to find wins to get them. They're supposed to be the worst team in football. This is one of those wins I think that presents well. Detroit, Chicago. Ben Johnson travels to where he just left, who was the offensive coordinator for Jared Goff and the Lions offense last season. Caleb Williams, they collapsed on Monday night. How will the Bears respond is my question. I almost wanted to take the over. And I think I might have had it as one of my last plays. It actually was. I would lean the over in this game, 46.5. I do think that both teams will get 20 points. Bears, especially if Jalen Johnson and their second corner's out. Both of those guys, if they're both out, I love the Lions to score. But I'm not so on the Lions secondary. But again, Caleb Williams, he's having accuracy problems. I do think Chicago can get him 20. I do. I don't think they win. I like the Lions 28-20 over the Bears. I think the Lions will get their first win. It's a good spot. If you want to take them in Survivor, you could. But I'm going to get to that in a little bit. But again, I wouldn't blame you. But I do like the Lions 28-20 over the Bears. Steelers, Seahawks. I don't even want to bet the under. This game is going to be low scoring. I don't think you're going to see what the Steelers did against the Jets. Again, Seattle's a much better defense. Seattle's got to travel across the country again, back-to-back years in week 2. Steelers, I think, will get Darnold to get some turnovers off him. They will sack him a few times. I do think that Aaron Rodgers and company, they'll have that one drive that they'll be able to pull away. And I think they'll keep Seattle at arm's length. I do like the Steelers to win 23-19 over Seattle. I just don't think either team's going to score much because I think this is going to be a game where it's going to be field goals. It's going to be defense. I do think Aaron Rodgers and company have that one drive that helps them pull away. That's a difference maker. They'll get in the end zone twice. I've got 23-19 Steelers over the Seahawks. Miami against my Patriots. Why do you guys think I'm in all black? Take a guess. Why do you think I'm in all black? You going to lose, Rich? You going to a funeral, Rich? Why are you wearing all black? I don't feel good about this game. I was really disappointed with what I saw in the Patriots. Now, people are saying to me, well, Rich, you should be able to score in Miami. You should be able to get in the 20s. We should. But let me give you guys a history lesson. I said this on Monday's show. We've only beaten Miami in Miami twice since 2012. Twice! I remember the years. 2016. It was the game that clinched the 1 seed for us that year. Who were we battling that year? The Chiefs and the Steelers. 2016. Remember the Edelman block on Michael Floyd? No, it wasn't Edelman block. It was Michael Floyd's block that year. And remember the year where it was Brian Flores' second game in Miami with Antonio Brown, 39-0? That was the other game. We won in Miami. We haven't won in Miami since 2019. And what sucks is Tyreek wants out. You could tell he's frustrated. Tua sucks. I've never been a big Tua fan. We have the physicality edge up front. Christian Barmore, Harold Landry. Did you see how good he looked last week? Keon White. Then Terrell Williams. I hope he's good, by the way. We got to be serious right now. Terrell Williams, I hope he's good. He had another moment where he's got to step away from the team. I think it's health related. I hope he's good. In all seriousness, get well soon. All right? He did a really good job designing some blitzes against the Raiders. Now we got another guy that's filling in for him, okay? But our front four is more physical than Miami. Miami's all finesse. But I'm going to use one of my uncle's sayings he's used on me for a long time, and shout out Uncle Al. Forget what you saw last week. And I fear that Miami's going to beat us because every fucking time they play us in Miami, it's their fucking Super Bowl. Although I'm praying, please beat Miami in Miami. I want to beat in Miami so bad. I want us to win in Miami. I'm tired of seeing them lose in this fucking house of horrors. Please, Drake May, Josh McDaniels, have something on offense to at least show we're making progress. We look innovative. We have some vertical stretching plays. Please let him cook. Although the kid's got to settle down early. He's got to not throw people too much high up in the air. Okay? No more high balls, Drake May, please. Settle in the game early. Start fast is what the key is. They got to start fast. But I don't think they're going to beat Miami. I don't. I had this as a loss in the beginning of the year, and I'm going to stick by it. And I fear New England is going to be 0-2. I didn't like what I saw last week. And I feel like the oldest saying in the book is, forget what you saw last week. Miami 20-16 over New England. I don't like this, especially Gonzo looking like he's going to be out week 2, but I want New England to win at Miami so bad. I just can't see it. 20-16 Miami beats New England. Arizona and Carolina. You narrowly beat the Saints in Saints. Carolina, off a rain delay, did not beat Jacksonville. Carolina won last year at home against the Cardinals. Chuba Hubbard, thank you for winning me some games in fantasy, but we lost in the playoffs. Not your fault. You balled. But this time it's in Arizona. This team also knocked Arizona out of the playoffs. This game's in Arizona. I like the Cardinals to win 24-16. Kyler Murray, you have zero excuses this season. You looked pretty good against New Orleans, but that's the Saints. You should beat the Panthers. I am not sold on this team as far as making a wild card push yet. They have the start that they should get off starting fast. You should beat the Panthers. Now, if you don't, my friend that's a fake Cardinals fan, my friend's brother, oh, he's going to hear it from me. Over text. I won't do it here because Cardinals fans are nice, okay? Don't get mad at me. My friend's brother is a fake Cardinals fan. This dude sleeps during NFL games, okay? I'm going to have an earful for him if they lose to the Panthers. But I like them to win 24-16 over Carolina. So Cardinals win. Broncos take on the Colts in Lucas Oil Stadium. Yeah, they still call it that. This is another case of forget what you saw last week. Daniel Jones, oh my God, he looks really good. This is the Sam Darnold of this year. Denver did make Cam Ward have his moments where he struggled. Daniel Jones, what have we always known him to be? A turnover machine, throws picks. Everybody's looking like, oh my God, the Colts finally won an opening day game since, I want to say, was it 2015? I'm trying to remember. But they've only won like one opener since, I want to say 2013. Could be wrong on that. Again, I could be wrong on this. But I like the Broncos to win. I would, if you really want to take a gamble, this is one. I don't like doing gamble situations on survivors. I don't like taking a gamble. I want to feel like I have teams that I feel like should comfortably win. And then if you get to a point where it's tough, you do it later in the year. But Denver, I think, will beat the Colts. It's going to be close because Cam Ward made it close at home. Denver wins 23-17. I do think Gus Bradley's defense will give Bo Nix some fits, but I think they're going to make a drive in this game that's going to stop Daniel Jones and company on defense. That Broncos pass rush is ferocious. 23-17. Broncos over the Colts. The Denver defense will win this game for them. Eagles take on the Chiefs bandwagons. Super Bowl rematch. Jalen Carter's playing. Eagles didn't look good against Dallas, but they won. 10 days rest. Chiefs didn't look good. They lost Worthy for a little bit. Rice is still suspended. And the bandwagons, this is their home opener, so Taylor Swift might be at this game. How great would it be if the Chiefs were to lose their home opener with her in the stands and they go 0-2? That would be so great for you bandwagons. That would not, and it would definitely not be great for head of the snake delusional Nick Wright himself. Yep. So it would not be a good feeling. But I'm going to say this. The Eagles defense has to play much better. They have to get from their C game to their A game for this one, because this is going to be a team that's going to be motivated to play them. They're going to want to beat them so bad after the Super Bowl. I'm sure Mahomes has studied a lot of tape following this game. Although I do think Vic Fangio, this is a younger front. Can they wear that Chiefs offensive line down? Which, that's the question. And I think that veteran leadership, them losing those guys, it's going to play a role, and it played a role against Dallas. But Jalen Carter, keep your emotions in check, please. Please. You are too valuable for this game. I also think A.J. Brown and Devontae, they're going to be making a big focus to get them going a little bit early. Saquon's going to be key, but Spags will key on Saquon. But I think they're going to key on A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith early, get them going. And the Chiefs defense, if Justin Herbert carved them up, Jalen Hurts has had his way the last 3 meetings against this defense. So, and if you think about it, the last time these two teams met for a Super Bowl rematch, it was where? In Arrowhead on a Monday night. Eagles won 21-17. I think the same kind of feel happens in this game. Eagles win 27-19 at Arrowhead. I think the Chiefs are in trouble. I don't like what I saw on Friday. I think you bandwagons go to 0-2. The league finally got Jalen Carter to play. I think that's huge. I thought he was going to get suspended. I was ready to pick the Chiefs. I was. But then once I knew Jalen Carter was not going to be suspended and was going to play, I like the Eagles 27-19 over the Chiefs. Now, I think I missed something here. No, I did not. I almost took the over, but I think it's going to be right at the total. I think it's 46.5. I have it right at 46. For those of you checking DraftKings lines. Falcons taking on the Vikings. Michael Penix, J.J. McCarthy, two guys that have met each other before. The 2023 National Championship, Michigan-Washington. Ring a bell? Both guys look pretty good in the fourth quarter. Different outcomes. J.J. McCarthy played awful for 3 quarters, and in the fourth quarter, he turned it up. And he was the big reason that Minnesota pulled away from Chicago and stole a game on the road that they probably did not deserve to win, but that fourth quarter, he made them win that game. Michael Penix showed a lot of really good signs. Drove down to get a tying field goal, but the kicker sold. This game, though, I like the upset. Atlanta's got some material. Brian Flores, again, I want to see how Penix does with Flores blitz. I think that that's going to be the X factor in this game. Atlanta's offensive line is not bad. Their receivers are pretty good. Okay. I think, do they double Justin Jefferson on defense and let somebody else beat him? Possibly. Bijan Robinson, how big is he going to be in this game? That's what I want to see. All right. I got him in fantasy, so I need him to go off. I like the Atlanta Falcons to win this game 27-24. And I think Michael Penix gets a big win on the road. Last time he played on Sunday night, he did really good. Granted, it was not a Brian Flores defense. I think Penix is going to have some answers. I think he's going to show some growth in this game. I think he wins in Minnesota 27-24. I'm not going to let my eyes fool me what I saw. I know J.J. McCarthy looked good in the fourth quarter, and he's got some good upside for them to kind of take it competitively, and I think they're going to be winning this game. I do like Penix this time get on the winning side of his team, completing a game-tying or game-winning drive. I like Atlanta 27-24. I also like the over in this game. I think Atlanta is going to score. I think Minnesota's going to score. I'm not sold on both of these secondaries either. I know A.J. Terrell's probably going to have primary responsibility on Justin Jefferson. I also think that Atlanta's going to score with Minnesota. They're going to score. They've got Drake London. They've got Kyle Pitts. They've got Bijan. They've got material. Darnell Mooney, if he plays, they've got material. Atlanta will score. Minnesota will score. Over 44.5. Vikings. Falcons. Yep, I like it. So we're going to go with the over in that game. And for those of you curious on the total, 44.5 right now. Taking the over. Okay? Tampa Bay. Houston. Remember the last time these two teams played? It was in Houston. It was C.J. Stroud out-dueling Baker Mayfield in a shootout. But the Texans' offensive line has not been good so far this season. And they didn't look good towards the end of last season either. Tampa Bay, Todd Bowles loves to blitz. Stroud could make him pay a couple times. This time, though, Baker Mayfield, I think he's going to have what he should have had probably the first go-around. This time it goes his way. Baker Mayfield, remember, before C.J. Stroud's game-winning drive 2 years ago, he put his team in position and he gave them the go-ahead. And then Stroud outdid him. Granted, Stroud deserved to win that game 2 years ago. He did. He made the plays when he had to, and he really impressed me that week. But this time Baker Mayfield gets what he should have had by him. He gets the walk-off touchdown drive, 30-24. Tampa Bay beats Houston. I like the Bucs to beat the Texans in an upset. I do not believe this Texans team is good like they were the last 2 years. I think they're going to have some ups and downs this season. Tampa Bay, though, is going to show why they might be a contender for the NFC. Bucs 30-24 over the Texans. Chargers. Oh, wait. Before we go to Chargers Raiders, I like the over in this game as well in Tampa Bay Houston. I think both teams are going to definitely get over 43. Both will score. Texans have Nico Collins. I think Stroud and company are going to score. I do think Tampa Bay with Mike Evans, Emeka Buka, Bucky Irving, they're going to score up there in Tampa. They put up 31. Was I not right on Tampa Bay Atlanta being over? Take the over in this game. Okay? If you know with teams you can trust with overs. Tampa might be one of those teams. Take the over, and I like Tampa Bay 2.5. I'm taking Tampa Bay to beat Houston. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to beat the Houston Texans. That's my second team guarantee that I like. Guarantee! Tampa Bay Bucks beat the Houston Texans. Chargers and Raiders in Las Vegas. Pete Carroll's first home opener with Las Vegas Chargers. What is it, 10-day or 11-day rest now from Friday to Monday night? I'm going to say 10 days. They go back to the rivalry with Stanford and USC, the Niners and Seahawks. What is it with these two guys always meeting in the same division? But it's in Vegas. Vegas coming off a long road from New England back to Vegas. Okay? 8 days to get ready. Harbaugh and the Chargers coming back from Brazil on Saturday. They got a while to get ready for this game. They're trying to build some momentum and some confidence that they had. And I think Harbaugh's company is going to do it. It's going to be tough. It's going to be close. It's going to be gritty. But that's the way Harbaugh likes it. 26-23. Chargers beat the Raiders in Vegas. It's not because I'm salty Vegas won. It's nothing to do with that at all. I think Harbaugh and company, 26-23. Chargers win against Vegas. I really liked what I saw, though. So let's go there. Now, we got through the NFL Week 2 picks. Let's quickly go into my favorite plays for Survivor this week. Now it's time to introduce our new segment once again. Surviving on the SS Saile. Yep, and I wish I had the captain's sailboat hat. I really wish I had that, and it's no pun intended with my last name at all, I promise. But the boat right now, we got through some, sweat outcomes. Cardinals was close. Broncos was close. And then Washington, it was hanging around there. So the seas were a little rough. But this week, hopefully, we can get some smooth sailing going, okay? Okay, no pun intended, all right? But my top play for Survivor this week, Baltimore Ravens. That's my top pick. I think they have to beat Cleveland with the Lions looming. They're going to be home for Detroit. Then they got to go to Kansas City after that. If they go to 0-2, they're going to be in very, very big trouble. And that defense needs to play much better. The Browns with Deshaun Watson, please, I'm not sold on that offense. No way. Now, their defense with Myles Garrett, they're going to be a problem. But Baltimore, Lamar Jackson, they were so close. I think the Ravens, perfect get-right situation. I think they're going to win this game. I like Baltimore to beat Cleveland. My favorite play of all Survivor weeks, give me the Ravens to beat the Cleveland Browns. My second play. Now, I used them in one of my pools already. I love the Cardinals against Carolina. I do. I think, again, if you're going to take the Cardinals, take them early. They have a good, favorable stretch early. Kyler Murray at home. I think that they're going to get back to what they were, but they didn't struggle against the Saints in Saints. I said I had feelings of that Patriots-Bengals game last week. Now, it was close to that game being closer than what it was, but we survived. That's all that counts. Survive in advance. I like the Cardinals. If you haven't taken them, I would take the Cardinals over Carolina. I'm going to take them in one of my other pools that I have. I'm going to do the Cardinals beating the Panthers. That would be my second choice. 3 and 4, they're dicey. They're dicey because they both have games where I'm like, okay, they didn't look great. The third team I'm actually going to say would be the Cowboys. Now, I still remember Josh Dobbs ruining me with I took Dallas to beat the fucking Cardinals, and I lost. Again, this is a game Dallas should win. They should win because it's the one easy game on their schedule I feel like left. You have the Giants at home. You should win. But Dallas is no pass rush, which scares me. Russell Wilson is a rivalry game. Dayball is trying to save his damn job. Okay, I feel like the Cowboys should win. Should win. I would take them. I'm scared, though, because they gave me, and I'm joking when I say this, they gave me PTSD from fucking Josh Dobbs at the Cardinals losing in week 3, and they knocked me out of that pool. I'm hoping it doesn't happen again. So I'm hoping this week the Cowboys should win this game and do win this game, and we stay alive. I like the Cowboys over the Giants. Could be 2, but they're my third pick this week. My fourth one, and I kind of am leaning away from this a little bit. I'm a little worried because I don't like what I saw from last week, but I do trust this team because I don't want to bet against Sean McVay. I don't. I'm taking the Rams as my fourth team I like because the Rams, against the Titans, they should win this game. Now, there's probably a few games where they probably are going to be better picks. I kind of like them early because if you can get the Rams early, and the reason I say this right now is because you kind of want to get teams that are slow starts that you expect them to win, you kind of want to get them out early. Because if it does go horrible, you know not to pick them. If it does go where they do surge, you know, okay, I got them out early when they were struggling, I can kick back. But if you wait now and then get later and then you see that they're doing well, you look smart. Me, though, Ravens have to get right. Love them in this matchup right now. Get them early, okay? I like Dallas because Dallas, you're not going to get them anymore early at a great pick than right now. And then also, you know, Arizona's got some easy games. I would probably wait a few later, but I like them in one of the spots now. And then the Rams, I feel like right now one of them is like, this is a game I would take them now. Because then there's some other coin flip games that are going to be tough for them. So I like the Rams early, but if you have a game that you want to save them later, it's cool for you. I wouldn't be mad at you for this week. Titans defense does worry me in this game. Their offense needs to get right. I do feel like Sean McVay will get it right. I like the Rams as my fourth choice. Now, there's a couple of other teams I like that I would put in my tier below them, okay? And that would be the Lions. I think the Lions could be tier 1 if you feel like this is the game they're going to get right. I wouldn't blame you for putting the Lions in tier 1 against Caleb, but because Ben Johnson knows Detroit, I'm a little cautious with that, okay? I feel like he's going to have plays ready for this week. The Lions should win, but I wouldn't love them this week. But again, if you like them this week, I wouldn't blame you. I like them a tier below my top 4. So I got them my 5th choice. Then the Bills and Broncos are 6, 7 because, again, you expect them to beat these teams they're supposed to play. But the way that both looked, I have concerns. All right? And I kind of like the Broncos a little more than the Bills over the Colts, than the Bills over the Jets, because the Jets will play them tough. But I do see upside where they both look like the teams that we expect them to look. But teams are starting out slower. I do think these games will be closer. Again, if you want to gamble on one of those teams, I wouldn't personally. I wouldn't. Again, these are my picks. They would be 6th, 7th choices. My top 4, I'll say it again. Ravens number 1. Cardinals number 2 if you didn't take them against the Saints. Cowboys could be 2, could be 3. I got them as my 3rd choice. They might be moving to number 2 depending on how the week goes. And then I got the Rams at 4, but not a confident 4. So those are my survivor picks, guys, for week 2. We went over a lot. It was mostly a pick show. We gave you guys a lot, all right? Hope you guys enjoy your NFL Sunday, your college football Saturday. We got a lot of great games, especially tonight. This is going to be, I think, a very interesting matchup. I want to see how this does. And the winner, I think, has a chance to make some noise in the NFC. Make sure you guys follow us on Rumble. We started Lounge Time on Rumble this year. Follow us there. Make sure you guys hit that notification bell. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. It's going to help our channel grow. We want to build a really good community. We went on to Rumble. We've had it on YouTube now. This is year 5. We want to make sure you guys get all the latest content and info regarding the NFL college football season. And yes, we will be doing college basketball at some point. I will let you guys know when that's going to happen, but it's coming soon. So you guys want to stick around for the season. So that way you guys can get all the latest info that you need. Guys, thank you so much for tuning into Lounge Time. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you guys on Monday to recap week 2. Maybe Tuesday if we think there's going to be some excitement. But I might talk on Monday. I'm looking at Monday. I'll see you guys on Monday. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy college football. Enjoy NFL. I'll see you guys next week on the next episode of Lounge Time. Have a great weekend, everybody.